There we go. It's loading for us now, Nikki. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes. So it says we're live now. So I did post yesterday to create some excitement about going live in the group, and I will be live every Tuesday from 5 p.m. But I'm joined by a very special guest today, a very, very special lady. So you all know me. I'm Dr. Aileen. I'm the founder here at TDL at This Doctor Lives. I'm joined by the wonderful Nicky Evans. Now, Nicky has been a client at TDL for some time. She's done the whole TDL method thing. She's done the whole weight loss thing. She's mastered her nutrition. She's introduced the sustainable exercise. She's done a lot of work on her mindset. But she's here today to talk about something different. And I'll get to that in just a little minute. But Nicky, firstly, do you want to share a little bit about yourself? Tell us about you, who you are.
Hi. What do I say about me? So I'm a stepmom to 3. I live in South Wales. I've got 2 grandchildren. And I guess I'm just more positive and happier than I've ever been.
And you're happily married.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. So today we're diving into level 10 living, and level 10 is a new thing that I introduced at the back end of last year. And it happened very authentically. It happened because the things that I were seeing clients needed help with were things that I could absolutely solve, but they weren't part of the core program. They weren't part of the core offer. And I hadn't had the time or the headspace or the energy to build something out to support with it. And level 10 living is really, really, really important, because what I see happens all the time is that people will make changes and people will build habits, but then routines get disrupted because of illness, because of major life events, because of kids' holidays, because sometimes we haven't gone deep enough into the habit or the routine, and we haven't looked at the values behind it in order for it to be cemented. Does this resonate with you, Nicky?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
And this is so very important, because if we don't do this piece of work, then we can risk these habits not being ingrained as part of our identity. And then all the hard work that we do to become the person that runs, or the person that eats healthy, or the person that partakes in XYZ healthy activity doesn't get maintained. And it becomes this boom bust cycle of we're either on or we're off. Oh, it's the kids' holidays, everything's falling apart. Whereas when we make it part of our identity, it's a firm part of who we are. I'm hoping that that makes sense for everybody. And if you're here with us live, give us a wave down below. And if you're watching this on replay, please give us the word replay. But this isn't our fault. You know, when I first started doing this work 6 years ago, I hadn't realized that there was more to habits. I hadn't realized that habits needed to be part of our identity. Now, I know one of the things for you, Nicky, is running. You would refer to yourself very confidently as being a runner, whereas before that maybe felt scary. So Nicky's here to share a little bit about her experience and a little bit about her journey and how she got there, to inspire you ladies, but also to teach you some nuggets so you can implement some of these things for yourself, which is super cool, super exciting. So if everybody is excited for that, give us some emojis down in the comments below. Give us a cheer on root for us. So Nicky, tell me, let's start with your wins actually. Since starting doing level 10 coaching, tell us a little bit about some of the big, massive shifts that have changed for you. And these might not be tangible things. They might be mindset things. They might be about how you feel or your routine, but just in your own words.
I guess one massive change is in the morning. I've now got a morning routine. So I always thought, it wasn't important to get up at different times. You get up at different times and go to bed at different times and catch up on your sleep at weekends and all would be fine. But since getting up and having a routine now, so I get up and I do stretches, and then, if I'm going running, I'll go running, or I'll do exercise. I sit down and have a healthy breakfast. And it's, at first it was like, oh, this is regimented, that's too much, but it's just given me so much time. I've got so much time that I had previously, but I wasted. So I'd like not get up when I was supposed to. I'd be playing on puzzles. I wouldn't go for a run. I'd think, well, I'll do it later, and later never came. And all things like that. Whereas now I know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it. And then it's kind of had a knock-on effect that I've now got a bedtime routine, and I'm winding down and then going to bed, and sleep is so much better. So even starting TDL, my sleep improved. I didn't think it needed improving, and it improved. And then I kept thinking, oh, well, my sleep's improved now, it doesn't need sorting. But it did. And it's just like just little tweaks and changes here and there. And yeah, so now I've got more time in the morning, I've got more time in the evening, and I can get things done. Whereas before I kept thinking, I'll have to leave that to weekend, I can't do it, I haven't got time. But I was just wasting time and not using it effectively. And now
Oh,
I've got more energy.
I love that. So I obviously know your journey because I've been coaching you through it, but just to kind of clarify that for people, it sounds like you hadn't even realized that this was a barrier. And it sounds like you were really super busy and stretched and not getting things done. And it sounds like you hadn't identified these pockets of time that, I don't want to use the word wasted, let's use the word
Yeah,
not optimized.
yeah.
Because I remember when you first came in, your top 3 goals for level, they had nothing to do with your morning routine.
No.
But because I'm a detective and we look at everything, and then we uncovered this, and you were like, oh, and I was like, oh, and it became this beautiful opportunity to go deep. So how did we arrive at that? Can you remember what work we did to uncover that?
Um, I think initially it was, I think I'd said that I didn't need help with my sleep and all that was fine, I didn't need a routine. It was all, I got plenty of sleep, and that's where I I didn't need extra time. And then we went through and looked at my morning routine, and then we went through and looked at my bedtime routine, and just asking the questions about, do you snooze your alarm, or what do you do in the morning. And I was thinking, and it when I looked at what I used to do when I used to work in an office, I got more done than when I started working at home, because I had to get up, because they had external factors making me get up at a certain time, and I was picking people up and things like that. So I'd like people relying on me. Whereas when it was just me and I had 2-3 hours before I started work, I just took extra time snoozing and playing games and just not doing anything. And so then I wasn't collating that, I was tired because I hadn't got up. To me, it was I was tired because I mustn't have got enough sleep, and I'll catch up at weekend. And just going through it and identifying that when I did get up at the same time each morning, I could do things. And by doing those things, I was happier, I had more energy. Going for a run in the morning or doing a bit of exercise would give you energy for the rest of the day. And then it would also then back up my nighttime routine, so that I went to bed at a reasonable time, rather than, oh, I slept in this morning, so I'll stay up late. So I was never in a rhythm. So I never got benefits if I got up early, because it was, some days it was early, some days it was late. And just by going through and just looking at what I was doing, just made more sense afterwards. Like, no, I do have time to do things. Whereas I thought, well, don't have time to do anything, I've only got 3 hours.
So who here watching this can resonate with I don't have time? Give us a number one, because I think everybody can resonate with that. And I want to share a couple of tools that we use with the people who are watching this that you can use at home. There were 2 big tools we used. One was a time audit, like physically auditing how you were spending your time.
Mm.
And the other one was a routine and schedule audit, looking at the routines and the systems that you had in place, and were they optimal or did they need optimizing? And sometimes we get so stuck in our own rut that, like, we're not used to looking at that. It's not something that we can tangibly measure, because not really something you talk about with your mates when you're out for coffee, is it? Oh, what do you do in your morning routine? Even I don't do that, okay? But it's really important that we're all able to audit our time. Now, in work, I'm constantly auditing my time. Like right now, my work says I'm recording a client spotlight, so I can constantly audit. And we do need to sit out externally and look at, right, how are we actively spending our time? A really quick one for anybody watching this is go and look at your screen time for a week. And this is part of one of the modules, which is the information diet one. How much time are you spending on your phone? Everybody will be terrified because it's always more than we think. But if we don't go in and we look for this information, and if we don't go and understand, right, well, what are our values? What are our beliefs? Does this align with what I want for my life? Then we just kind of get lost and we just kind of accept that this is just how things are. They're just kind of a wee bit suboptimal. They're not terrible. Your life was great before you came into level 10. And actually, maybe that's the next question then. Why did you do level 10?
I'd learned so much and I'd changed so much. I knew I wasn't ready to go out on my own, which sounds a bit sad. But I wanted to carry on learning, and I wasn't sure what I was going to learn, but I knew from everything that I'd already learned, my life had transformed. And that sounds drastic, but it's true. I'd made so many changes just in health and well-being and in my mindset, and I just wanted to learn more so that, I'd got as many tools as possible to just keep me on track for the rest of my life type of thing. I've made massive changes since.
It's amazing. So the reason I called it level 10 is people don't think it can get better. And I'm like, no, we're going to level 10. Like we're going all the way up to the top. So you've shared a little bit there about your morning routine. You've shared there about getting time back. You've shared there about energy, but they're not the biggest wins that you've had. They've had other wins as well. Tell us more. Tell us more.
So by identifying what my values were, I realized that I wasn't happy in work and that it was time to find a new job. So working with you, and then put together a plan on what my goal was, what I wanted to achieve, and then how I was going to achieve it, all these step by step on how I was going to do it. And it went through my plan and just really thought about what kind of a job I wanted, what I wanted, what things I wanted in my role, how much money I wanted, where I wanted to work, all things like that. So I had a clear vision on what I wanted, and then, right, how am I going to get there? And I had several interviews, and in the end, I think I had 3 interviews for the job, and every interview I was prepared, I was relaxed, I was calm. Even though it was all done over Teams, I was all dressed up nice and smart. So I got a new role, and every interview was just reaffirming, yes, this matches my values, because I had a whole list. I wanted health and well-being to be a part of it. It wasn't just about money or working from home, but it just kept, every interview was just ticking every box, and I got the role, and I've been working here now 7 weeks, and I'm loving it. And they're just so supportive, and it's the best decision I've ever made, and had the courage and the conviction that, yes, this is what I wanted, this is how I was going to get it, and this is what it looked like. And it was all through using a vision board, setting goals, and following through and making sure that I was prepared. And it wasn't just a case of, right, well, I've got an interview tomorrow. I'd already worked out what I wanted to ask, what I was looking for. And if it didn't match up, then I was more than happy to say, well, thanks for your time, but I don't think we're aligned. And I did do that in one job offer I got. I did turn it down and say we're not aligned. So yeah, it just gives me a road path for me to getting what I wanted. And I've never been happier in my job. Yeah, there's ups and downs and there's tweaks that I'm working on. But yeah, it's a massive.
So good, so good. And You said a really important word there, and the word is courage. And there will be people sitting there watching this right now that want to make changes in their life, and they're maybe scared. And what I want to say is, when we operate from a place of fear and scarcity, we attract fear and scarcity. We get what we put out. And I don't mean this in a kind of a woo woo kumbaya way, like I mean it in a real scientific way. And what you did, Nikki, is you were very clear exactly what you wanted. And you came to me like I had nothing to do with the job thing. You came to me and it all happened very, very quickly because you were allowing, you weren't rushing, you weren't pushing, you were leaning back and you were allowing it to happen at the pace of whatever pace it happened at. But it all happened really quickly because you had the courage to follow what you wanted, and you decided you were worthy enough, and you decided you were enough, and you decided you were important because you're all of those things. You worked so hard. You've done your homework every week. You've shown up. You've asked questions. You've created these changes for yourself. And it's just so amazing to be part of it.
Oh, thank
Absolutely love it. Love
you.
it. And tell us about your running.
Well, I used to run when I was a lot younger. And then I stopped, and then life happened and other things, and I didn't think I could run. And then in January this year, I decided coach to 5K wasn't for me, but I found a 5K route and I walked and run. And well, when I say run, I jogged, and then mainly walking. But I did it in January, and every run walk I did after that, I just kept getting better and better, but not putting pressure on myself. It all the time in my mind, it was like, yeah, you're doing brilliant. I'm really like being a cheerleader for myself, and and like taking in what was happening around me, listening to sights and sounds. And before I knew it, by February, it was only a matter of weeks, I was running 5K. Not the best times, but I didn't care because it was better than what I was doing last year. And I was looking at it, look how far you've come. And yeah, so and then I was doing 5K after 5K, and then I decided I was going to sign up for a 10K. So I signed up for a 10K, and it was like, oh, will I be able to do it? Will I won't? Will I walk? Will I? And in the end, I just started just to enjoy it, and I ran the whole 10K. Was super, super like pumped up, adrenaline. It's like, right, what's next? What am I doing next? And then it was like on my list of goals, I wanted to do a half marathon. So it's like, right, move that to the top and let's work out what I need to do. So yeah, I've got a training plan. I'm doing the Cardiff half marathon in October. I've already done a half marathon in my training. It took me 2.5 hours and I loved every minute of it. I'm not aching afterwards because I'm doing it properly. I'm doing warm-ups, really thinking about what's right, listening to my body. And yeah, I'm a runner. I can run half a marathon without stopping. It's just amazing. And it's for me. I'm running, it's my time. And a lot of people look at me as if like, I can run and be fun, but it is. And it's also self-care because I'm running through, I'm working things out, I'm visualizing. Like when I'm running, I'm visualizing what it's going to be like on race day, and I can see people clapping and cheering as I'm running around, and I can see where I'm running, and that's what I'm thinking about, and it motivates you to run around, and I'm really enjoying having time for myself. And yeah, I'm not going to be doing 2.5 hours every week, but it's just so relaxing, and knowing that it's good for my body, it's good for my mind, and I've got loads of energy from it.
I love that. It's so good. And the bit that really is very important there is, as you said, look how far you've come. So you have learned through coaching to become your own biggest cheerleader, your own biggest advocate, which didn't come naturally to you, but it's part of you. And
Yeah.
it's exactly the same thing as I had to learn to do for me, to get me into medical school, to turn me into GP, to turn me into an owner of TDL and leave the NHS, to take these big courageous leaps that we know in our heart of hearts is the right thing for us, that maybe doesn't align with what everybody wants, but the people who are watching this, they need to lean into that energy that you're putting out there, because it's possible. Anything and everything is possible for each and every one of us, but we need the right skills, we need the support, we need the tools. And can you hear my doorbell ringing?
Yeah.
It's the kids from next door, bless them. The most important part is we need to have that conviction, and we need to have that belief that it's possible for even us, even little old us. We all started somewhere, and we don't get to grow from a place of growth. We grow from a place where we identify that there's a need, there's a desire to grow, and we have to hunt it and we have to chase it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, that was deep. That was super powerful. So what is it about level 10 that you think has been the most helpful for you? Because it's delivered in quite a different way from TDL method or from mindset coaching. It's very strategic, it's very focused, it's extremely personalized. Yeah, you have unlimited access to me and you have coaching calls with me, but we look at everything, we say, right, we're doing this, and this. We don't need those parts, and then we go deep. But what is it for you that you think's been the biggest, most powerful part?
I guess the morning and the night has been game changer, because what it's done, it's identified things that I didn't think needed change, and even after going through all the things that I've gone through, and it's just reaffirming and how far I've come as well. It's like I've just been doing the visualization, and a lot of it, when I was going through, I didn't realize I was doing it, or because I was like, what's this manifestation? Don't know what that is. But going through it, I was like, I'm actually doing this. I am actually doing, and knowing that this was a tangible thing that I was doing, because I've started becoming more positive and calmer, and stepping back and not reacting and thinking rather than just reacting. It's like something bad happens, you can't help it, my car died, and rather than just worrying about, what am I going to do? How am I going to walk dogs? Because I take them to the river. I was taking them out at different times, and I was walking, and then it was like, oh, I need to go to the shops. I haven't got a car. What am I going to do? Okay, well, I'll go 5 days. I'll do my shopping 5 days a week and just break it down into what I need each day. And I just looked at it as an opportunity to, to get my steps in, to feel healthier, to shop local, go in town, and instead of going to a supermarket, and find new things. And I guess more than anything, it's the positivity and understanding that little changes make massive difference, because now I've got time to do things. I've always had time to do things. I just didn't do them because I didn't think I had time. And now I've looked at how I'm not using time effectively, and now I am. And there's probably still tweaks I can do, and I've got so much that I can keep going back to and enhancing. And it's like it's a cycle that keeps going, because then how much benefit you've got just for getting up when you're supposed to get up, rather than not getting up.
Yes. And these aren't things that you logically don't know. Some of the things you hadn't appreciated needed tweaked. Some of the things you logically know needed improved. But if we go back to you when you first spoke to Bobby, who I suspect will watch this, life was different. You were desperate to lose weight. You were stressed out of your box.
Yeah.
And you're a completely different person. So you've learned how to reframe situations that somebody would see as really challenging to being a gift. Because I remember seeing last Wednesday, I posted the Wednesday wins in the group, and you said my win is that my car broke down and I could get my steps in. And I'm just like, wow, this is so good. So good. So is there anything that you want to say to anybody who might be watching this that might think, is this level 10 thing for me? Or maybe they're on the fence and they've thought about it for some time. Any advice you want to share?
If you're on the fence, just have a conversation with Aileen, because there's just knowing what's available, what you can look at, because it covers everything. It's not focusing on weight loss, your mindset. It's focusing on you as a person and how to develop you and take it to, as you said, the next level. And you know, there's just so much you can change. I mean, obviously, I've still got things to go through, and I don't even think we've touched on nutrition. It's just all been, and yet I'm still, you know, I'm still maintaining. I'm not putting on weight, and you know, I don't even weigh myself, but I know I've not put weight on. So it's just making your life that bit better, knowing that, you know, you are strong, you have got courage, you've got confidence, and putting things into plan that you maybe not sure how to go about. I mean, everybody knows how to find a job, but it's stressful. Yet me finding a job wasn't stressful at all. I just thought about, wrote everything down, and it was just because I had a clear vision on how I wanted to do it, what I wanted, how I was going to go about it, how I was going to make sure I was calm and make sure that, you know, I do a bit of meditation before my interview, so I was in the right mindset. And it just helps guide you so that you then can learn about more about yourself and how you can feel better about yourself and how your family can benefit from what you're going through and what you can pass on to them.
I love that. I've got another question for you. That was my last question, but I've got another one. What advice would you have given to your past self? If you could hear it just now, what would you say?
That you're stronger than you ever think. You know, believe in yourself, and you know, the positive, you know, they always looking for the silver lining. Just carry on looking for the silver lining, because if only change you ever make is positivity, you'll be much happier for it. And to just believe in yourself, because you can do anything.
Yes. See, I nodded so much my desk shook there. So good. It has a love heart down below for Nikki because she shared so much. She just like opened her heart up to all of you guys. And she's honestly the most wonderful person to work with because you're so dedicated, because you show up, because you ask questions. And there will be bits of this that people will be able to relate to and see themselves in. So if this resonated with anybody who's watching, please stick around for a few minutes because I do want to share something really important. And what I want to do is I want to open the doors up and invite you guys to apply for level 10 living. And how you do that is all you need to do is send me a message on Facebook with the word level 10, and then we can have a conversation. Level 10 is a 6-month experience. And the goal here is, it's just what Nikki said. It is a lifestyle optimization program. So it's looking at the way that you're living your life. It's looking at your habits. It's looking at your routines. It's understanding, well, where are the leaks that we're tripping up or we're slipping up, right? If we want to have more energy, what are all the things that we need to do in order to have that? And it's set up in multiple different modules, which I can go into in a little minute. But basically, this is for you if you're the type of person that has all these habits all set up and it's working really, really well. And then something in life happens to disrupt the routine, whether it's the kids' holidays, a trip away, a car breaking down, as Nikki said, and then suddenly everything falls apart. Or if you're the type of person that knows what you need to do, but these habits and self-care feels like a tick box exercise, go to bed on time, get up on time, prep my food, do my workout, do my steps. Like if you're not really actually enjoying that with the same thrill as Nikki talks about, but also if you're feeling like you're juggling a lot of things and you're just too busy, or maybe it isn't a lack of time, maybe it's truly a lack of energy or motivation with the time you do have, that we end up scrolling or we end up watching Netflix. these are the types of things that come into level 10 and we systematically work through them. So I'm inviting you to apply. First thing we do is we get super crystal clear on your vision, get super crystal clear on your goals and your desires. And this is what Nicky was talking about when she spoke about a vision board. Because if we don't know what we want for our lives, how can we set goals? Like we can all say, oh, I want to be slimmer, I want to have more energy. But like, what does that actually look like in your life? How does that translate in relationships? How does it rub off on people that are at home with you? How does it fulfill you or change how you position yourself or show up inside work? So it's all of these different things. We need to get clarity, and then we cherry pick the modules that suit you to support you. So Nicky, we've talked about time audit, we've talked about routines and schedules, we've talked about morning routine, we've talked about bedtime routine. You talked a little bit briefly there about vision board manifestation. It really depends what support people need on an individual level in terms of where we go with this. So Nicky, thank you for sharing your story.
No problem.
You're
No,
a
hopefully I've
leader.
helped.
You're a leader now. How cool is that?
I know.
Other people will genuinely look up to you and be inspired by you because of the changes that you've made. I know you've already seen this in your family, and I know that you're a support for other people, but you're pouring now from a cup that's overflowing because you know how to turn that tap on.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Well, Nicky, thank you for joining us. If anybody has any questions, feel free to shoot them over. I've gone on for ages tonight. We're at 31 minutes, which is awesome. But great to have you here. And thank you to everybody who tuned in.